Hey guys, guess who's jumping on that hype train? Today I'm going to be talking about an anime that I just binged watched for like 4.5 hours on Netflix, and I really wanted to give you my gut reaction to it, I guess, and that is Devilman Crybaby. Now, I guess let me go into my backstory with Devilman. There is none. I haven't read anything that's Devilman. I haven't seen any previous iterations of Devilman. The only interaction that I have had with the Devilman franchise, aside from having it recommended to me by friends, is that there was like a top 10 gory scenes and anime list that I stumbled across one time, and there was a scene where in a previous iteration the Devilman just ripped the tits off of somebody, and that was cool. So yeah, I had high expectations going into this, and I knew it was directed by Masaki Yuasa, who previously did two shows that I previously seen that I really liked, Kaiba and Kimonozume. He's also done Tatami Galaxy and Ping Pong, and just a whole lot of other really praised works. So I had high expectations going in, and I knew it was going to be gory. I guess I didn't really know how gory it was really going to be, but I was expecting that. If you're like me and you know like nothing about it, basic premise here: you have this kid named Akira, and he's a crybaby at the beginning of it, and for most of it actually. And he's a nice kid. He's a sweet guy. Sticks up for his friends and stuff, but he's a crybaby. He cries with everything. He's very emotional. And he's got this friend named Ryo, who is kind of the opposite. He's this friggin' like Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh style, cold-hearted son of a bitch kind of guy who like doesn't give a shit about anything. And in this reality, Ryo introduces Akira to the presence of demons in the world, devils. I guess, and people can become devils here. People can have sort of like jealous thoughts or envious thoughts or lustful thoughts or just any all around negative thoughts can create a demon out of a person. And so in doing so and showing Akira that this is kind of how the world really is, they basically walk into massacre, and Akira gets turned into basically a half human and half demon. He has the heart of a human, but he has the body of a demon. He becomes way stronger. He becomes way more athletic. Becomes way more charismatic. But he's still him deep down, but he is a different person still. And he has this incredible power, and he can control his demon side unlike any of the other demons out there. And it sort of uses this like shonen-y premise of, you know, I'm half this and I'm half that, so I'm better than, you know, both sides, but I'm not going to be accepted by either side. And that's the struggle that Akira kind of has to deal with. Because there's clearly the sides here where there's humans and there's demons, and there really isn't any meshing in between, at least early on in the story, besides our boy Akira here. And, you know, he's got his high school friends. He's on the track team. I was a guy that did track for many years. I liked finally seeing some more track in anime. They're all runners. There's this girl, Miki, in his class who he definitely likes and stuff like that. They've known each other for a long time. There's another girl her name is also Miki, but they call her Miko, because it'd be confusing because there's two Mikis going around, and that feeds into the plot later on in the story. But she's also a runner, and so it chronicles Akira's sort of uncovering of how the world really is around him and how shitty people can be. My favorite part of the show was the overall themes and messages of how I think human nature is, and how we destroy each other. We do terrible things to each other. We can have positive we can look positive on things, but not, and then really not see how negative stuff really is. Like we can think that, you know, we're being good to people when we're really not being good to people. We can be bad to people and not even think about it. And then some people are just rotten to the core and just don't give a fuck about anything. And I think this show really exposed that, because this show is adult as fuck, and it doesn't give a shit about a lot, if you, I would describe it like this: if someone were to come up to me and say like, "Hey, anime's for kids," show them Devilman Crybaby, because this is the most like non-kiddie anime I think I've ever seen. There's gore all over the place, blood, limbs, crazy transformation sequences and stuff like that. A lot of sex, a lot of nudity. I think like implied rape in certain scenes, and just just a lot of like graphic stuff going on within these 10 episodes, and it was all good. It never really crossed a line for me. I don't think that it was ever like too much. I think it was handled very appropriately, and I commend USA and the staff for that. And like I said, I don't know how the manga is. Maybe it's much different in the manga, but I feel like that's probably a tough line to walk. Like doing all these adult things without it being too much. There's an anime, Blood Sea, I think, is kind of similar in the fact that but it did this the wrong way. So it was violent, but it was hyper violent for almost like no reason, and it just made you like queasy. Like this, it might make you queasy, but like it's still good. You enjoy seeing what you're seeing on screen. It's not just people dying that you don't care about. That's another thing that I liked, was the characterization here. It's only 10 episodes long, and we really only have like 6 or 7 characters that you get to know. But like, I really liked almost all of them besides Rio. And I mean, I feel like you're not supposed to like Rio, and that's kind of the point. But even like the side characters, even like your Miko, the other like track runners and stuff like that, and family members of the main characters, and even there's like these side characters that are like these like rapper guys that are pseudo friends with the main cast. And like, I was annoyed by them at first because that's all they were doing was like sitting around like rapping and kind of being bullies for no reason. But then they even got development later on in the story, which I thought was really cool. A lot of shows that are 50 episodes long don't get that kind of character development throughout. And I really enjoyed that about Devilman Crybaby. I really like Akira, the main character. He's definitely somebody I can get behind. I believe in him. I like what he's trying to fight for, even though it's probably not the most like possible thing, because the world around him is kind of shitty, and he's kind of trying to fight for like justice and uniting everybody and protecting people. But he keeps fighting and he doesn't give up, which I really liked about him. Like I said, it's violent as fuck. I like me some violence. If you're kind of a squeamish person, maybe it's not for you, but I would at least give it a try. Has chilling, memorable death scenes. Now, I won't obviously talk about, I don't want to spoil it here about like who goes and when and so forth, but I would warn people not to get crazily attached to people in the show, like I may have. And if you're the kind of person like me who gets very attached to characters, and when certain characters end up maybe kicking the bucket, it kind of sucks, but it's alright, because the show was pretty good in the end. And maybe people like me, I guess, need to get over that. But I guess talk about some of the dislikes that I had. As much as I liked a lot of the animation in the show, I do not like, and I think this is a key difference, I like the animation. It wasn't ugly, but I don't like the art style that Masaki Yuasa tends to use. And I said this in my Kimono Zume review as well. And I know people are probably going to hate me for this, but I really don't like... I like super, like, detailed animation and so forth. Along the lines of, like realistic-looking stuff, like Makoto Shinkai and so forth. And I know it's probably not the best idea to compare everything to that, because honestly, I don't think that's what US is going for, but in my personal opinion, that's just kind of what I want to see on the screen. And US stuff is very like grainy and very like weird looking, and a lot of like, while there were very cool looking demons in the beginning of this show, like in the first like scene where you actually like see demons all over the place, later on in like the latter half of the show, the demons just start to look like silly. Like they weren't like maybe I kind of got numb to it, but they weren't like scary anymore. They were just like, I don't know, they looked way too like cartoony. It's weird saying that about an anime, I know, but like it didn't give me like the same vibe. Like I didn't like their designs as like the series like went along. Devilman himself looks pretty cool. I'll give him that. Throughout. And then the main like cast, their character designs were all pretty strong, and a lot of the action scenes were animated very well. I did not like a lot of the music. Wasn't big on the opening, and a lot of the scenes, as I talked about a little bit before, there's like these like gangster like rapping kids that are part of the cast, sort of, and there's like scenes of them just like spitting out rhymes while we're I don't know why. It just happens, I guess. And I don't know if they thought that was... I don't think it sounds very good. I watched this in the dub, by the way, so I don't really know if that happens in the sub. But, and then there's this other one where, like, the guy spits a rap to try and, like, impress this girl. And, oh my goodness. And the girl he's trying to impress was, like, one of my favorite characters. And, like, I don't know. It was off-putting to me, and maybe it's just that I don't like that kind of music and so forth, but it bothered me a little bit. I guess my biggest fault that I have with the show is it feels like it's going like 90 miles an hour constantly. It feels very rushed. It's only 10 episodes long, and I feel like it could have benefited a lot if it was 13 or even like 22. I thought about this for a while. I don't really want to say 26. But I'd say maybe like 13 or like 16 or something. Just because I think like some of the side characters could have gotten even like a little more to them. Yes, they were developed, but then there's other like characters that they try to make you like care about a little bit, and they're just kind of there like briefly and then they're gone. And I just think that like some of the relationships that they do talk about within the show could have been developed more. I feel like we could have talked about the past of a lot of these characters way more, because they show a lot of like flashback stuff, but they don't really like explain a lot of it. It's just like, oh, this happened in the past. These guys know each other. Yep, they just know they've known each other a long time and they're friends. Yep, that's how it is. Isn't it sad now that we're not friends? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's because I haven't read anything, I haven't seen other shows. Maybe you're supposed to kind of know that going in. I don't know. But I just felt like... And then, specifically, like, the last episode, a very good episode overall, but the very end of the show... Maybe I'm stupid. But I kind of don't get, like, what's going on. I mean, I have, like, theories that I can't really discuss here without going into, like, spoiler territory. But I guess that, like, with the show's, like, overall themes of, like, good versus evil and the battle, like, going on forever, I guess the ending is sort of fitting. But I wasn't, like, a fan, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. It felt a little, like, empty to me. I just wanted some more. But overall, I liked Devilman Crybaby. I would highly recommend that you check it out on Netflix. If you have Netflix, it's definitely worth paying the, like, $10, whatever, if you're just going to watch it for a month. Definitely check it out. It's one of the better anime I've seen in a while. Definitely one of the best ones on Netflix. Like, their catalog isn't very good. If you're going to watch something on Netflix, watch Devilman Crybaby. And if you're like me, if you've never seen anything with Devilman, don't worry about it, because I don't really think you have to overall, because it seems like its own story, and it's a nice little gory, terrifying, sexual, adult as fuck package here. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Devilman Crybaby. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is it your favorite anime of all time? Am I really stupid for not liking the ending? Let me know down below. And as always, guys, I will see you next time.